to Tom and to your entire team at Queens Chamber. You know, I've been in local politics and government for over 12 years now, but I will say that I've never met such an active, proactive leader like Tom and his whole team. It's not just us as electeds coming to Tom, it's him literally going all over the borough and not just asking folks how they can help, but providing staff who can reach out in a culturally appropriate way, and then meeting people where they are. And their leadership, this team has just transformed and expanded the reach of the Queens Chamber. I used to be jealous sometimes of other boroughs and other counties' Chamber of Commerce. But now they can look at us here in Queens and model what they do after what we've done. Thank you for having me, and thank you for this time. We are in Washington, D.C., usually during the week, and then we are here this week. Every fourth week, we work here in the district. So it's such an honor to be in your presence. I know that you all work so hard. You don't have time to listen to politicians speak. So Tom doesn't let me come unless I show up with money, right? But what Tom described about my life growing up in Queens is true. I'm a daughter of small business owners. My parents worked in a restaurant for most of my childhood and later owned their own small business in Flushing, one of the first Asian restaurants in Flushing, if you could imagine Flushing without Asian restaurants today. So, I grew up, working and helping in the restaurants, and I watched my parents and other small business owners work so hard, 7 days a week, really 24/7, and struggle to the point where, and I've never said this out loud, when my husband and I got married, I said, I don't want to own a small business. It's too hard. It's too hard. And I've watched, even though, you have so many fruits, but the investment of time and energy and love that you all pour into your small businesses, it's so hard. I don't know if I can do it. So here I am in Congress, by the way, which is a different level of chaos. But that's a really long way of me saying I appreciate all of you. I am a daughter of small business owners, and that's why I feel like it's so important that we in government do everything we can to ensure that you thrive, not just survive, but thrive. And we really did see this during COVID, where even if you weren't a fan or a supporter of the infrastructure to help our small businesses, you realized how important they were to our tourism, to our economy, to our survival, to our social life, when during the pandemic, so many of them had to shut down. And when Congress, both Republicans and Democrats, came up with good legislation to help our small businesses, and we're patting ourselves on the back, and at some point, I remember this very clearly. Early on, we were at a meeting with, local New York City elected officials, and we looked at each other and we said, do you know any small businesses that got PPP or EIDL? We all asked each other that, and amongst us, there were only one or two. This was weeks into the program. So we said, something is wrong. It's not having the reach that it intended to have. And that's why we did have to tweak the law a little bit and to work with folks like the Queens Chamber to make sure that more people were able to access this program. But that, small businesses are very important to us here in Queens. They're very important to my district. My district goes from parts of Bayside to Forest Hills to Middle Village, Mass Fifth, and a little bit of Woodside, and everything in between. A few years ago, I think this was 2019, I noticed that York College and LaGuardia College had their own small business development center, SBDCs. And my team said to ourselves, why don't we have one in our congressional district? And so we were able to work with the SBA, we were able to work with leaders on the ground, leaders like Queen's Chamber, to open one up at